good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Simply C, and I am in the studio with Tom and Brandy of 4 Mile Portage. Well, they are 4 Mile Portage. When they go and play out, you'll probably see them with a couple other people, but it's just the two of you this afternoon in the studio.
That's right.
All right. And I see you guys have your instruments all ready and geared up to go. We got the banjo and, is that a fiddle or a violin?
That is a fiddle.
All right. Sounds wonderful. Take it away, guys.
Thanks. Said the mother of James and the mother of John, promise me this will be done. I want one on the right, the other on the left. My James and John will serve you right. You don't know what you ask. Can you drink from this cup? Oh yes, I can drink from that cup. My James and John will serve you right. Put one on the right, the other on the left. My James and John will serve you right. Then the other 10 they overheard said, why not me? I'll serve you right. Put one on the right, the other on the left, and yes, we'll serve you day and night. You don't know what you ask. Can you drink from this cup? Oh yes, we can drink from that cup. My James and John serve you right. Put one on the right, the other on the left, and yes, we'll serve you day and night. If it's service you want, then it's service you will get. The one on the right will serve you all, the one on the left to do as well. Look at me, I got to serve. My life I give you years. The one on the right will serve you all, the one on the left to do as well.
A wonderful performance by 4 Mile Portage. They're in the studio with me this afternoon. And I always love the kind of mountain roots music that comes out of Duluth and Superior. Was that the angle that you guys really wanted to hit with this band, or is it something that just kind of comes natural?
It is. That is kind of the roots of it. We definitely started as a dance band, so Appalachian dance band, so doing squares and big circles, and that's our roots. And then we just started singing because we just really like singing, and there isn't that much room for singing in dances.
Okay.
So,
all right.
so adding that in.
Okay. So how did you two kind of meet over music, or?
In a lot of ways, yeah. So we met in college at UMD, and well, there's a Celtic jam at Sir Benedict's that's still going on now on Thursday nights, and I just found out about that and was getting fired up because I had played guitar at the time. I didn't play banjo in college, and then kind of talked Brandy into, oh yeah, that's exactly it, right? My sister had a 3/4 size fiddle in the attic, and kind of talked Brandy into doing that, and then I learned the banjo, so that we'd kind of be on even footing. So we kind of learned together in college there. So.
And that jam was really a formational.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned to fiddle at that jam. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of our our second date was a dance at Tamarack Dance.
That's right.
All right. Sounds wonderful. And so you've kind of hit the kind of Appalachian kind of roots music with fiddle and banjo. And then I also know that you bring in Kyle Ola now and again. And for those who don't know, he headed the band Yester that's been kind of disbanded for a couple years now, and now he's kind of off doing his own thing, but he comes in with you guys now and again. How did you end up meeting him and kind of bringing him on board?
Okay, well, here's a pretty funny fact, is that Kyle Ola was my Algebra 1 student in high school, so I'm a high school math teacher, and he was my student. And we have a student string band that meets, and we're just starting when Kyle, this was a while ago when Kyle was a student, and he actually remembers playing with us a couple times when he was still like 16 years old or whatever. And he went off and did some adventures. Now, it was Emma Rooston's art opening. I think they still call themselves the Cronies or something. He and Charlotte were just playing, and he knew that I played banjo, and I was there at the opening, and he's like, "Hey, grab this banjo," and I was like, "Okay," and the three of us kind of played, and that sort of was like, "Wow, that's fun." So Brandy and I had, been gathering what we can of this Appalachian. We kind of like the greasy cross tune the fiddle, and it's a little bit hard to find exactly the niche we like, and like Kyle was into the exact same niche. I was like, yes. And so we I don't know, then after that first meeting, then we must have figured out a way to get together a few times. And
I think we invited.
Oh no, he played bass. We.
Oh yeah, that was with Bonnie. Right.
And we were playing with Bonnie Hundreiser at the time, and then we asked Kyle to play bass.
Right.
Not knowing that he was like a multi-instrumentalist, and so it kind of grew from there. But yeah.
And then he started. He started on bass and then expanded to all the other instruments rapidly.
Yeah. Every single time I see that guy, he's got a different instrument in hand, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? And then he like fires it out, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm like, okay, I don't have that talent.
Yeah, very sensitive. He's what do I mean by sensitive? He's a responsive musician, so whatever we're kind of putting out, he just I get it.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
got it. Very responsive.
All right. And now I know you guys are a pretty good staple at the Amazing Grace. You play there every other week on a Thursday?
It moves around.
Now we're once a month, just because we, for lots of reasons. But we play at Bent Paddle, and we play at the Amazing Grace. And then a lot of our energy goes into these teenagers at the school. We play with them and dance with them. And then we're both on the board of the Tamarack Dance Association, so we're hosting out-of-town bands and playing ourselves, and we both call dances and
for the monthly.
So there's monthly folk dances, squares, and circles. All right. And so between those three, and then we seem to get a lot of calls for weddings over the summer, and so we're not. And we both have full-time jobs, day jobs, so
that's enough.
But if you want to come see us, I think the Grace or the Bent Paddle is your best bet for a steady thing that we do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And now I actually have never heard of the Tamarack group. Okay. Do you want to give me a little bit about that?
Yeah. You want me to?
Oh gosh, I don't even know if I can summarize it.
So it's so listening to that last tune, and we'll do more fiddle tunes in a minute. If you think that's fun to dance to, you're absolutely right. So it's called dances. You do stuff like do-si-do and swing. Okay. Sadly, a lot of us were like given a bad exposure to that in fourth grade, so you might have these fourth grade, trauma. So it's actually fun. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's way better than that.
Those gym teachers of the whatever did a great job of ruining this fine folk tradition. But,
although if you did have Terrence, if you grew up in Duluth, you might have had Terrence Smith come in and dance with you as a student, and he's the founder, along with a couple other folks, the founder of the Tamarack Dance Association. He's been putting on dances for the last 30 years, and he's been dancing with kids in the area, in schools, and he's also the one that got us
That's
into
everything
this.
I know about dance I learned from that guy.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. And now when people think of square dancing, I mean, automatically their mind goes to the 1920s, kind of 40s. The gin runners
40s,
and 40s, kind of the gin runners and things like that. What I guess how does that kind of fit into nowadays,
Well,
especially with the Tamarack group?
personally, I've been really looking, and I think a lot of people who are doing this dance again with oh gosh, there's so much history. So a lot of people think of square dancing. They think of people putting on a record and then dancing, and you have to wear the fancy outfits that match. That does
Plaid
not
kerchief.
happen
No one
anywhere.
wears plaid kerchiefs.
No, nor crinoline skirts or any of that stuff.
Okay.
There's no matching.
Okay. Right.
Any of that. So it's
Live music.
so live music. It's community dance. Everyone's welcome. We figure out how to make sure that everyone can dance.
Okay.
And so that 40s square dancing is it really is. It's kind of started in the 30s and the 40s, and it was clubs. And we are looking back past that to its origins, 200 years ago, to the 20s is our earliest, or is the
1800.
I'm just thinking like the recordings that we're looking back to. Those are the earliest recordings there is. But like, is the 20s, and we're listening to old time bands from the 20s who are doing dances back then, before the big Grand Ole Opry scene.
Okay.
And so we're looking back at those, and I mean, it's got rich history all across the Appalachian region, and and very multicultural too. That gets forgotten. But if you look back far enough, you see all the diversity in the tunes and the people who played it.
All right. So then if new people come in, do you kind of give them a crash course in how to dance, or is it just kind of figure it out?
Yeah, absolutely. And people are friendly, and they get it. We were all we choose dances that are easy to pick up, and so yeah, if you wanted to try it for the first time, it's nice to get there early, because we as a caller, I'll start with the easier stuff, and then I like to get a little more challenging as the night goes on. But yeah, it's you can just show up and make it work.
And there's people come there as singles, so like it's not, you don't have to bring a partner. In fact, Tom and I go together. A lot of couples will go there together and maybe dance only 3 or 4 with their partner, and you find you dance with everybody else, because that's what it's a community dance.
Okay.
And you can dance in either gender. I mean, it's not.
There's a lot of gender
It's pretty
swapping.
loose,
Oh, geez. Didn't think I'd hear that on my show. Gender swapping. Whoa. And now, where is this held? Where do you guys meet?
So for the last bunch of years, we've been with the Avalon Educational Institute, which is actually a dojo, and downtown Duluth, 4th West and Superior. By the Maurice Construction, right across the street from the Maurice Construction.
Okay.
And it's every third Saturday, 7:30, and they pick up their wrestling mats, and we dance on their floor and put the mats back. Yeah.
All right. Sounds wonderful. And now, do you guys have another tune that we might hear at the Tamarack dance?
Well, now I want to do a fiddle tune, because we talked so much about dance. Here's let's do Chris.
Okay.
This was written by a local guy. So
Mark Bogie, the founder of the one of the founders of the Sir Ben's Thursday Night Jam.
All right, very cool.
He wrote this one, and I think I learned a lot about bowing from him.
All right, 4 Mile Portage is in the studio. This is 91.3 KOWS right here in Superior.
You want to start?
Want me to start?
Yeah.
Did we say his name is Mark Bogie? Yeah. Okay.
Another wonderful song by 4 Mile Portage. They're in the studio with me this afternoon. And now you wrote that song in homage to?
No.
Or no?
Mark Bogey wrote it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Mark Bogey wrote that tune, and we learned it at Sir Ben's, and we played it. And I suppose we could say it's got, I don't know, it's got 2 A's and 2 B parts, and that's how the dances fit right to that. So,
Okay.
So that's a common
Form.
Well, that is the form, yeah, for most of those dances, and that's what you'd hear if you came out and danced, is a tune just like that.
All right, wonderful. It is a very dancey, kind of lively tune. I was doing some chair dancing over here, and I wish I could stand up, but the headphones won't let me. So, yeah. And now, what is coming up for you guys? I know you touched a little bit. You've got selected for this year's Homegrown.
Yep, that's right. And with any luck, we'll be playing. It looks like we'll be playing with Galen Lee, which we're really excited about. We've done some stuff with her, and we're hoping for some collaboration somewhere in the middle between our 2 sets.
Ooh, okay.
And yeah, because she's fun to play with.
And then we'll see if we pull it off. But I'm really excited to. We also do Appalachian flatfoot clogging, and we've got kind of a little troop of folks that are into that with us. And so I don't know, sort of a secret here that we're kind of mustering some forces to put a little dance clog performance together with our homegrown set.
Okay.
To be accomplished, but definitely within the sights of reality. So.
Definitely. And the Homegrown magazine comes out a couple weeks beforehand, so you guys will be in there with a beautiful write-up as well. How many years have you played Homegrown?
Oh, there's a good question.
5?
It sounds like about that.
Feels like 5. I think it's 5. It might be 6.
Let's call it 5.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what a great event that is.
Definitely.
I'm so proud to be a Duluthian when that festival comes around.
Definitely. And I will be right back with 4 Mile Portage right after this. And welcome back. I am in the studio with 4 Mile Portage here on 91.3 KUWS right here in Superior. I'm your host, Simply C, and this is the 9 o'clock Meltdown. And it looks like this wonderful duo is gearing up to play another tune for us. So I'll let them take the reins and I'll sit back and do some chair dancing.
We're going to do Sandy Boys, which is a traditional Appalachian tune, good for dancing, and it's got some lyrics, so it's fun to sing.
That squirrel's got a long bushy tail, possum's tail's bare. Rabbit's got no tail at all, just a little tuft hair. Oh, oh, Sandy boys waiting for the break of dawn. Oh, Sandy boys waiting for the break of dawn.
A wonderful, wonderful song by 4 Mile Portage. They're in the studio with me this afternoon. And now I love the back and forth that you guys have. You're making complete eye contact and it just ebbs and flows. And does that come from just years of playing with each other, or?
Yes.
Yeah, that's feedback. People enjoy our show. Well, people who give us feedback at the end of the show say, "God, I love the way you guys like interact and and that." Well, that's I don't know. Yeah, that's what I really love about it. To me, music is a communication. I've wondered if I have like an audio processing disorder, some kind of condition, because I struggle sometimes hearing people and stuff, but or understanding words. But God, when I play music with someone, it's just like I feel like I know where we're at, and so that's something that's definitely part of it.
And I think the other part of it is that Tom's working with a fretless banjo. I'm working, you know, fiddles are fretless, and like, so there's a lot of freedom, which also means that you have to do a lot of trying to blend together. And so trying to get that blending, there's not a lot of foundation. There's no drums. There's no bass. If it's just the two of us, we're really putting a lot out, trying to get a lot of things, the rhythm and the bass and the everything.
Right.
We're making it all, and so you
End up needing each other.
You need each other. Yeah, you're like, oh God, am I totally drifting onto space? Nope, I'm not. Okay. You know, you all you have is each other to hold it together.
Right, right. And is that really traditional kind of music, just having more so two-string instruments versus, dare I say, the big band sound with the drums and the horns and the da-da-da-da-da?
Yeah, I was originally drawn to bluegrass because of the lack of a drum set.
Okay.
Now, I love rock, Led Zeppelin, and the whole thing. But I was drawn to bluegrass.
As a player.
As a player, man. Well, I don't know, as a listener, because I just sense there's so much more vitality, and so the group works together so much without a drum. And then from bluegrass, I think I sort of grew into this old school, old time Appalachian stuff. But yeah, all this acoustic music, and then you can play it. You don't need, amps and the whole thing. So we go to festivals and you just sit around the campfire and you play tunes until the sun comes up, and and I love it.
And the banjo and the fiddle are like the basis of a dance band.
Okay.
You can do a dance with a banjo and a fiddle, and that's tradition. But then you add a guitar and a bass and a mandolin, and it's really nice. That's just everybody gets to work a little less hard.
Ah, okay.
But you can do it, and it's pretty darn fun just with a banjo and a fiddle.
Oh yeah.
And now, tell me about your first album that you guys put out. I know we've got it here on the shelf, and several years ago I was putting together a show and stumbled upon it and digging through the shelves, and I'm like, 4 Mile Portage, well, who are these guys? So I put it in and immediately fell in love.
Oh,
So how was putting that album together? How did that kind of come about? Oh no.
Yeah, anyone out there who's tried recording, bless your hearts, it's humbling. We've got 2 CDs out, and that first one we did in our living room.
Yep.
And we did multiple takes, and we had
very
to
painful.
patch our relationship together at the end of them sometimes. But we did that one in our living room, and I'm pretty happy with the sound we were able to get. But
it's hard to be sound engineer and and musician at the same time, and what we learned really was we were doing multi-tracking.
Okay.
Like I'd play the fiddle and then we'd sing together, on some of the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
we did a lot of multi-tracking on that first album because you just couldn't push the buttons and play, like you couldn't do all the things at once. And it ended up we lost a lot of the live dynamic, that dynamic that you were just talking about. Like we couldn't look at it. I couldn't watch his hand and sing along with his guitar, or we couldn't watch each other and get our vowels right and our timing right and
Yeah.
like and all that stuff we couldn't do when we were multi-tracking. And
Okay.
so that was hard because you just like hear, and it's just like so nitpicky and you hear all the mistakes and everything. But so this last one, the new album,
Yeah.
we did at Sacred Heart. We
Okay.
had Eric Swanson do it. He did a
Yeah.
great job. He made us feel really comfortable. And we just did every take just live. He just put mics in front of us and we started playing and we took that, you know.
Well, in between those two, so we did that effort of the first CD on our own. And then between that time, Charlie Parr asked us to sit in on the Gospel
right.
Plow.
That's right.
And that's, we
Oh,
kind of learned from it, because Charlie, anyone who's worked with him, it's just like, you just show up at the studio and okay, it was one take. Did we do any of those twice? No, I don't think so.
No.
So if you, everyone, heads up, if you record with Charlie Parr, well, I mean, you play together and you rehearse, but then you go to the studio and it's like, okay, here we go. And everyone's, you know, there's no multi-tracking. We're all, the mics are set up. Eric Swanson's got the, you know, controls. And it's go, and you play it, and then that's the one that gets printed. And we're like, well, that was pretty cool. And we got, and then Sacred Heart's such a beautiful space, of course. And but yeah, we're like, oh, this is great, you know, because there's so much give and take and play between the musicians. And it captures that. So that's how we modeled our second CD then.
All right. And now tell me a little bit about the second CD. I know you've got Kyle, Ola, and
Yeah.
Bonnie on there
On
with
radio,
you guys. Yep. With you guys. How did that kind of come about? Did you guys do a Kickstarter or just kind of
No,
funded
we,
it
well,
yourself?
okay,
That's
so our
right.
first CD, we're like, okay, when we sell out, we have to record another one. Well, and we sold out, and then we're like, well, let's just print 100 more or something. And then we sold out again, we're like, oh, great. So we did have some money from that first CD, and we have kind of a policy where we both have day jobs, and all music money goes right back into music. So
And
we-
art.
And art.
And,
And,
yeah.
so, yeah, we'd give a little money to local organizations, and so all money goes back into local art and instruments, and you know, to support us and sound equipment. So we had money for that second CD. Well, I drifted off the question though.
Kickstarter. Yeah.
No,
So that's how we did it.
But yeah, so we and we had Kyle and Bonnie and went into Sacred Heart, and we did it in 2 days. Well, we did one day with the 4, and then we did one more day with the 2 of us. So.
And that's the advantage of the playing it live. You don't have mixing. You don't have to pay for the mixing.
Okay.
There's no mixing time. Well, okay. Eric did a great job.
Well, he
and,
mastered too, but yeah.
but like, there's not a lot of cutting and editing and
Right,
all that.
right.
All that time is out. So it's you know, it's a little cheaper to just, and then you get it done. We went into the studio twice. Got it done.
All right. So basically the album was made in 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right. It took a long time to develop those songs and the way we performed them, but
Yeah. It was
yeah,
recorded
it
in
was recorded in
Yeah.
2
two
days.
separate
Yeah.
sessions. Yeah. 2 days.
All right. What's next for the album side for you guys? Anything else, or are you
Right,
kind of
so
going
I
to ride
guess,
this one out?
We haven't sold this one out, so we're good for a while.
All right.
We had to do many boxes of CDs, so it'll be a while before we're out of those.
Okay.
And that's sort of, I want to get to another song that I wrote and talk about songwriting in a little bit, but
Yes, of
I feel like I want to talk about too how we're sort of torn. We're like, it's just this dance, and the fiddle tunes is like this whole thing that keeps us so busy. And then, you know, people ask me about where do you get inspiration for songwriting, and I do love songwriting. Now, I haven't songwritten in years, and it is an area I really love, but I just haven't made time for it. So I just had this kind of bubble of songs I wrote that I got on that last CD, the Can't Find Home CD. But yeah, as far as when you asked what's next, I have to admit that I haven't written anything since.
Right.
I took
Okay.
a songwriting retreat of 4 days and wrote 5 songs in 4 days, and then that's
And those
all
are
I've written since, and that was, you know, some time ago.
Yeah.
But
So when's the next songwriting retreat? Would
you're
be
right.
the
So
next-
yeah,
right,
first
right?
it's a
Okay.
songwriting retreat, and then it's play it for a couple of years, and then it would be a CD, I suppose. So,
All right.
Don't hold your breath.
All right. Well, it looks like you guys are gearing up to play another tune. So,
Yeah.
Doing
So
Wait?
we'll do Wait if you're ready, huh?
Yeah, here's the words. We never get to perform this one, so it's Yeah.
This one's just quite a, when I came into the studio, I was like, oh, I want to do Wait, and yeah, when we're playing at a bar or even a coffee shop, this one's a little more subtle, and we don't always get it outplayed. But I really am happy with the song. I'll talk about it at the end maybe, but I'll tell you this before I start that the chord structure and the melody came to me in a dream.
Ooh.
I woke up and I was like, oh, I have this, and so I got out of bed and played the guitar and made sure it was stuck into the correct memory so it doesn't go away. And then it was another few months before, I was kind of meditating on this different thought, and I was like, this is the one that fits that melody and chord that I had. So anyway, that's the wrong one. Dust I came, back to dust I one day will return. There are no arms to hold me now. My eyes are bright, but my voice is fading fast from you now. My struggles here are almost through. And I wait for night, and I wait for my wakeless night, and I wait for you to call for me. And I wait in here, and I wait in this hollow shell, and I wait for you to sing to me. I have no fear. The altar comes on casters for me now. I will return and sing to you. My grip will ease, but something in me holds on to today. This parting takes more than a day. And I wait for night, and I wait for my wakeless night, and I wait for you to call for me. And I wait in here, and I wait in this hollow shell, and I wait for you to sing to me. And I wait for night, and I wait for my wakeless night, and I wait
a very somber song from 4 Mile Portage. They're in the studio with me
Right?
this afternoon. A very beautiful song, though, too, especially with the fiddle kind of droning on with your guitar playing. How did that song come about? You said that you
Thanks.
wrote that one.
Yeah, so I wrote that one, and yeah, it's funny, like we have all these like woohoo, fiddle tune, dance, this, and then I have all this I want to express, and so part of me is like, well, should I come up with another band name and say, well, tonight I'm going to be performing as somber, this, and tonight, and you know, but so I really love both things, and thank you for that. This song was written at the end of that 4 or 5 day songwriting retreat, so I kind of sequestered myself and didn't really have any human contact and kind of just went into nice places. And then at the end, when I decided to kind of come out and see people, I really wanted to visit Brandy's grandmother, who, you know, borderline, well, yeah, dementia. In the nursing home, her husband had passed maybe about a year or a number of months, if not a year, previous, and you know, I just like did my best. You know, I was in a really nice place after 4 days of reflective thinking, and then I just really wanted to make this connection because, you know, her time was short, and I just, you know, saw, you know, that pain of like, I just want to see my husband and my body isn't working at all anymore. And it was actually Ash Wednesday when I visited her, which is sort of a favorite day of mine. And so that's where the, you know, dust and the altar and stuff comes from. Is so we went to you know, the mass came to the nursing home, and that's where that altar came in on casters, and you know, it just, that was sort of that image. I don't know if anyway, you know, the priest just came in wheeling that altar on the casters, just like, yeah, this is a very temporary you know, situation we have going on here, and so those were sort of the connections I had with Florence on that Ash Wednesday a bunch of years ago. I don't know.
And music was always her
Yeah.
real expression.
Right, so she couldn't
was a
really
singer.
talk, but boy, you know,
She could
holidays.
she could sing
With
till
all
the
the
end.
Slovenian, she was in the Slovenian choir, and to the end, she knew every lyric to every of those
And
songs.
she'd sing the harmony to anything you wanted.
All right. They've actually done studies on dementia patients and people with Alzheimer's through music, and it's actually improved memory and things like that. I mean, obviously,
Oh,
they
yeah.
won't be able to remember, you know, where I put my keys or anything. But
Music doesn't go away.
yeah, the
Oh, as a
music doesn't.
therapy.
Yeah, as a therapy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
The music
well, it makes
doesn't
sense
go
to
away.
me. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back right after this. 4 Mile Portage is in the studio, and I'm your host, Simply C. And we're back. I'm in the studio with 4 Mile Portage. I'm your host, Simply C, and this is another edition of the 9 o'clock Meltdown. And you guys are going to kick it off for this last 15 minutes with a song here, and then we'll jump back into it.
All right. Father's yellow hull sailed for just one day. A motor home. Oh. Father's yellow hull sailed for just one day. O'er the dunes of a sleeping bear. Hardware brass was from his own childhood boat. And years sail from my mother's machine. 6 small children filled each of 6 blue beds. A motor home rumbles o'er Mackinac. 6 children to and fro, with each wave so cold, as we launched her yellow boat on the northern shore.
Great Lake Michigan is your home now. Great Lake Michigan is your home now.
When that first day was done, we pulled her up on shore, hiked trails of sand with her sails and her oars. And the morning's light showed plain our yellow hull was gone when the children grew
Michigan is your home now. Great Lake, Michigan is your home now. Do I see your sail over Manitou? Do I see your tracks in the sand? Are my struggles vain as your tattered sail, and my love fading fast as your heart? Great Lake, Michigan is your home now. Great Lake, Michigan is your home now. Sail away on waves that will gently rock on your solo journey home. Great Lake, Michigan is your home now. Great Lake, Michigan is your home now.
Another beautiful somber song by 4 Mile Portage. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
I'll let you guys take a sip of tea here before we get to talking.
Good, you held the cough off till the end.
I did.
Good job. And now you wanted to touch on how your song lyrics kind of come about. Now, most people kind of know you as an Appalachian kind of jam band, but you have a completely different side of you, a somber songwriter.
Yeah, I guess, and yeah, some of these songs just came out. This one was not part of that repeat, I don't think. Was it? No. But anyway, that's just a song I needed to write for my father. Built a little dinghy to get out to his sailboat. I was raised as a sailor.
Okay.
And the sailboat was out on a buoy, and so we'd row a little boat. And he's like, oh, I want a really cool little boat to row out to the thing. And he actually built a little sailboat that had a little keel and yeah, my mom sewed the sail and I just remember the basement. I was really young at the time, so I just remember the basement smelling like paint and varnish and him working on that. Well, then we brought it to our Michigan a vacation spot and played with it. It was just beautiful. It was everything we thought it would be really fun to play with, and then we left it on the beach overnight and it was gone in the morning.
Oh, no.
So it was the one day I was like, well, this thing really, so that was sort of my metaphor for loss, and it's sort of sad. I think we were dealing with some loss at the time. That was a good metaphor for it, but at least we got a good song out of that boat, and it was nice to just kind of deal with those emotions that way. So
All right. Yeah. So do you kind of pull, when you write a song, do you pull from life experiences and different emotions, or is it kind of on the pop fly, like this is how I'm feeling today, let's go for it?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I usually will just start by playing my instrument and finding myself in a certain mood, and then I just sort of tease out, oh, this mood feels like this. And it's sort of specific, it's sort of crunchy over here and smooth over there, and it's sort of tall, and oh, okay, so I'm feeling like this. And then, if I'm really lucky, a nice story is part of that painting too. So in the best situations, that's how they evolve. But it's always the instrument.
Yeah.
The instrument kind of teases out the feeling, and then the forebrain sort of puts shape to the feeling, maybe. I don't know.
And it depends what instrument you're playing too.
Yeah.
I've noticed I've written tunes on the fiddle and get a melody, but it's a fiddle based thing, and then if I play like the guitar or ukulele, you end up with songs are more likely to come out of playing a guitar because it's a little bit more free.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, have you written any song lyrics?
I've got a couple on that CD, but we don't play them very often because once again they just don't fit in our
Well,
they don't fit in our set, and we don't know the words anymore because we never play them.
let's do your waltz.
The Good Man Waltz. We got that one figured out. Okay, so this one is a silly one that I wrote. It's not, but it's also just talking about like the struggle, like I've got plenty of single friends looking for partners, and just the struggle of like not knowing if it's the right person and being hurt, and am I going to get hurt again, and you know, knowing, how do you know when you can trust?
Right, exactly. And before you guys get started on that, if people are interested in contacting you or getting hold of your music, I know you guys are up on Bandcamp and you do have a Facebook page. How can people get a hold of you? Where's your schedule at?
So we also have a website, 4mileportage.com.
Okay.
And the email's real easy too. It's 4mileportage@gmail.com. And it's just the, spelled out FOUR, all lowercase.
All right. And now, how did that name come about?
Oh, do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, it's funny. We were looking for a name, of course, like everybody is, and we tried out a million of them. And at that time, when we were coming up with a name, that was when we were starting to play the songs. Like we actually were thinking, this is the name for the somber songs, this, going out in coffee shops and playing songs, like songwriting thing.
Okay.
And so, like, it needed to have a little grit. It needed to talk about struggle, and complexity. And so, 4 Mile Portage, there is a 4 Mile Portage. I'm up from Ely, and the 4 Mile Portage is a portage from Basswood Lake to Fall Lake, and it is 4 miles, and it's way too long to carry a canoe. And so they actually had trucks for decades. There was trucks that would haul your canoes across, and you'd go fishing, and you could do a day trip that way to Basswood Lake, which was really nice. And I did that portage on a truck plenty of times, and then they shut down the trucks because they wanted less motorized vehicles in the Boundary Waters, and I just remember there was a lot of struggle over that for a lot of people on both sides, and I remember just like struggling to understand what's right and what's wrong, and then it also just felt really right, like imagine you're carrying your canoe on a 4 mile portage. How's that feel? And it just like fit the struggle and all the pieces.
All right.
So, yeah.
And it's kind of fitting with the song.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in the studio and sharing your beautiful music with us and some of your thoughts this afternoon.
Excellent. Thank you, Crystal.
Of course. 4 Mile Portage in the studio. I'm your host, Simply C. This has been another edition of the 9 o'clock Meltdown here on 91.3 KUWS right here in Superior. See you next week.
Help me out. Yeah, good. I'll remember it when I get around to it, right? I once had a man whose heart was stone. I once had a man whose feet they would roam. I once had a man who loved me completely, and oh, mama, I wish I had known. I thought that the first one would love me. I thought that the second would stay. I thought that the third would be just like the others. And oh, mama, I wish I had known. I
home